Hello, everyone. I'm going to take this opportunity to provide you with some step-by-step instructions on how to renew your student organization for the 2020-2021 academic year. You may have already heard, but we are changing the provider of the software company that powers our myNKU software. And because of that, you'll need to upload your information into this new system. You should have received an email that provides step-by-step instructions, but to provide an alternative method of instruction, you can watch this video along as you're filling out the information. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. My email address is millera5@nku.edu. So in order to access the site, you'll need to log into Presence, and the way to do that is to go to nku.presence.io. I do apologize if there's a bit of a screen lag with the recording software. Sometimes it is a slight delay, but you shouldn't experience this when logging into the site. Once you're in the site, you're going to come over here to the little human icon. You're going to click that drop-down button and go to login. This should take you to the NKU single sign-on screen, and you're just going to enter your NKU credentials. All students should be automatically into the system, so you shouldn't have any issues, but if you do, please feel free to reach out. Once you've logged into the system, and you can scroll down, and you're going to go to this Create Organization button. So again, once you've logged in, scroll down about halfway down the screen, and there's a button that says Create Organization. My screen does look slightly different than yours just because of some information that we input on the back end. So if it looks a little bit different, that's why. So first you'll start with basic information. So this is where you're going to populate the information about your organization that you might want a prospective member to know. So in here, you can enter your organization name. This should be the name that you have on file with the Office of Student Engagement. If for whatever reason you need to change that name with us, please reach out prior to filling this form out. So you'll fill out your organization name, and then over here you have the option to put in an organization nickname or acronym. So this is, a lot of our groups have short little acronyms. Whatever will maybe help us identify your organization in the system is something that you want to put in there. Next, we have our About section. So in here, this is your opportunity just to provide a small blurb about your organization. You can also copy this directly from your current myEngagement profile. Next is categories. Categories are very important in this new system. It helps us to sort out organizations. It helps to let students know what kind of organizations we have on campus. So the categories that you set in here is very important. So as it says here, the first thing that you need to do is select whether you are a registered student organization or campus office. So of course, most of you are registered student organizations. So that's the first one that we're going to click on. That's going to help populate other fields down in the system. And then next, you're going to indicate your primary area of engagement. I know multiple of our student organizations identify across different areas, but right now we just want you to pick your primary area of engagement. So whether that's academic, faith-based, fraternity sorority life, governance, leadership, so on and so forth, you can go ahead and pick any of those. I'm just going to pick academic for the sake of this tutorial. Next, you're going to populate your meeting time and your location if you know that information. We would really like organizations to start putting this in there. That way groups can start to publicize a little bit better. And when we have prospective students wanting to know more about your organizations, this can help them find you. So of course, in here, you would put maybe, say you meet on Wednesdays at 3:30. Same for your meeting location. I understand that these change from time to time, but go ahead. If you have a set room reservation, you can also go back and change this at a later date. So maybe you meet in Student Union 302. Next is your contact name and contact email information. Ideally, this is your organization president or your organization secretary, someone that if they want more information about your organization, they can find it. So go ahead and put your first and last name in here in the contact name, and then email that person. It should be your NKU email address. Over here, we have the option for a cover image. So if you already have a logo for your student organization, go ahead and upload that into there. If you're a new organization or maybe you don't have anything, there is a service called Pixabay, which can help you find an image. So maybe this is for the hiking club. So if we do a search for hiking, and maybe, here's a free source image that we can use for our cover image. If you pick the wrong image or you want to replace it, you can just click that X and take that back out there and either go to the search or the upload. For social media, if you have a Facebook account or a Twitter handle, you can go ahead and upload those into there. We are working to get Instagram added to that because we know a lot of organizations use that. But for right now, just go ahead and if you have a Facebook account and a Twitter account for your student organization, go ahead and put that in there. Waiver section, for now, you'll leave blank. Next is our constitution file. So you can access this from your current myEngagement profile. If you have any problems pulling that out, please email me again and I'll help you with that. I can send that to you. Your constitution file should be saved with your organization's name and the month and year it was last edited. So for example, track club _ December 2019. You should know that your constitutions are public documents and they will be available from your organization's public page online. So right now we're just looking for your public constitution and bylaws. You're going to click this upload button and then you can go ahead and upload your file. Next is our student organization requirements. So these are requirements that we require all of our student organizations to comply with. So please make sure that you read each one of those thoroughly. And then after you're done, you'll go ahead and click agree just to indicate that you've read and understood those requirements. If you are one of our fraternity and sorority life organizations, this field will look a little bit different as we request a little bit additional information, have some additional requirements for your organization. So please acknowledge that that might look different and also ask for some additional information. Next is your roster. So this is probably going to be the most time-consuming part of filling out your profile, but we need you to provide the information for all the members in your organization. This is how they're going to get access to your site. It's also very important for in case of an emergency, we know who is in your organization. So you're going to put in their name, their NKU email address with their @nku.edu, not the @mymail, not Gmail accounts. This needs to be their @nku.edu email address. And then, you're going to give them a membership status. So this can be either a couple preloaded options or they might just be a generic member. It's very important that at least one member is listed as the organization president. Every time you need to add a new member, you can just click here to add member. If you want to add multiple at a time, you can go ahead and load those in there for as many members as you have in your organization. Next is primary advisor. So this should be your primary NKU faculty or staff advisor. Any additional NKU advisors or off-campus advisors should be listed in the next section. So you list your advisor's first name, last name, and their email address. Here in our other advisors, so this is if you maybe have a secondary faculty or staff advisor, if you have an off-campus advisor, or maybe someone that's appointed by your state, regional, or national organization, you can list those here. And again, just like in your roster, you can add as many as you need. So once you've done this, just like it says, you're going to scroll back up to the top and hit submit for approval. So we're going to go back up here. Mine doesn't have this because or yes, it does. So there's this submit for approval button. So you'll click on that. And then based on your organization, that'll begin an approval process, which should take no more than 2 to 3 business days to review and approve. If there are any issues, if you missed any of the required fields, we'll deny that form and send it back to you to update. If for whatever reason, maybe you need to take a break or work on something else, or you need to get additional information, you have the ability to save this form as a draft. And you can also preview your response if you want to see what it looks like. But that save as draft is a cool feature for you to be able to go back and access that form at a later time. So again, this process is required for all registered student organizations for 2020-2021 academic year. Additionally, if you want to be able to participate in any of our online virtual fairs or any of our programming at the beginning of the semester, this is a requirement. If you have questions, want to set up a one-on-one consultation, I'm happy to meet with you. Go ahead and just send me an email at millera5@nku.edu. We can set up a time where we can Zoom or Microsoft Teams or whatever is most convenient for you. You can pull up and do a screen share and we can work through this step by step if you have any questions. In the meanwhile, we look forward to receiving your submissions and we hope you're having a safe and healthy summer.